Yo, what's up YouTube, man? It is your boy Action Jackson, man. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about how ways we beat the Indianapolis Colts on Sunday Night Football, man. So before we hop into the video, I would appreciate if you guys would like the video, subscribe if you're new, comment your thoughts on the video, and share my video with anyone who you think might enjoy my content, man. So let's hop to a video, man. Let's go. So hopping straight into it, you guys already know. If the new subscribers, if you guys, every time that I do a video, I always go over the injury report, and I'll go over the injury report before I do these videos. So that's why I have a great analysis on ways we beat the opponent. So hopping in straight to it, all the guys are listed questionable. There are questionable. So Jaron Curse, he's questionable, most likely going to play. Michael Gallup and Diggs are both questionable, and they both had illnesses. It's something that's going around in the NFL, and just in this world in general, because this is definitely when I love the fall. My birthday's in the fall, but it sucks that this is when everyone gets sick, and it's always around the holiday season. So the illness is going around, as you can tell, also for the Colts with some of their injury reports as well. So Anthony Barr, he's questionable with the hamstring. I'm going to touch on that in a little bit. But DeMarcus Lawrence, he's going to play, and Terrence Steele is going to play. Anyone that has a dash next to their name, like for instance, like I just did with DeMarcus Lawrence and Steele, that means they're going to play. So if you look at the Colts, whoever has a dash next to their name, they're going to play. Kenny Moore, slot corner for the Colts, he's out with an ankle injury. Braden Smith, their starting right tackle, is out. Isaiah Rodgers is questionable, and their tight end Jelani Woods, who is a freak of nature, is questionable. So, before I hop into the ways that we do beat the Colts, I want to touch on Anthony Barr real quick. Just for the simple fact that I feel that Damone Clark, our rookie linebacker out of LSU, should still remain the starter. And I believe that we should rotate the vets between Van Der Esch and Barr. I feel like Damone Clark should definitely be a starter on this team. I love what he's been doing so far. And especially since Van Der Esch and Barr, they're already made products in the NFL. We already know what they are. And when they're playing at their best capable level, they are really, really good. But Damone Clark has right now untapped potential. So I believe it's really key that he is playing in these games, that he's starting over Anthony Barr. I don't feel like the Cowboys should do what they normally do with vets, is like, hey, you've been in the NFL for a very long time. The rookie should sit. I don't think that should happen. Any means, that shouldn't happen. So I feel like definitely Damone Clark should start over Anthony Barr. So hopping into the ways that we beat the Colts, my number one thing, because I know it's our weakness, and it's been our weakness ever since I've been watching the Cowboys for a very long time, stopping the run. I'm not gonna harp on it for too long, but stop the run against Jonathan Taylor. He will be a problem if you let him. That's what I've written down on my notes. Just stop Jonathan Taylor. He's definitely somebody that once you get going, he will get going. I know his last name is Jackson for sure. They have a backup running back. They do running back by committee once Jonathan Taylor gets tired. Mostly Jonathan Taylor, he is their horse. He is their lead back. And they treat their running backs in the AFC South like old school backs, where they're going to give them 25, 30, 40 attempts. So this is just a product of the AFC South, where Jonathan Taylor is going to get a bulk of the carries, and he's made to do that. Pressure Matt Ryan, he's a statue. We're not playing against like Sam Ehlinger. We're not playing against a mobile quarterback like a Justin Fields, where we have to worry about their second nature or their second weapon on the field. So the only thing we have to worry about Matt Ryan is throwing the football. But there are some times where I have seen some clips and some games where he would get out. He will get loose when he needs to, but we have too many athletes on the field where I don't feel like he's going to ever burn us with his legs. But there has been times where I've seen him have back-breaking 30, 40-yard runs, like case in point, one against the Las Vegas Raiders. They had another one with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So he definitely had some runs where he would break loose for like 35, 40 yards. He'll have like a very long run, but That's definitely something that we need to look out for, but it's nothing I'm really expecting because we lead the league in sacks, and they're definitely tops in the league of giving up sacks. So it's very key that we do pressure Matt Ryan. Dan Quinn is used to Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan is facing against his former defensive coordinator, so it's going to be really solid, seeing how this game goes. But like I said, those are definitely the two key points I have for them on offense. And then the last point I have on for our defense of stopping the Colts offensively is don't let Pittman make a big play. Don't get him going. He's definitely and he's another engine for that team that, hey, he starts catching a couple of touchdowns. He gets a lot of big plays going. He is the microwave, as you would say, for the team, where if he gets a big play, he mosses somebody. He catches a 40, 50-yard crossing route. He would definitely give the team energy and light. So we have to run the ball. That's our identity. I don't care what anybody says. Kellen Moore tries to stray away from that. He tries to ball 35, 40 times in games that we don't need to. I feel like it's really key for us to run the ball. I have stats that have been pulled up. I looked at the Colts games, and I've been looking at all their rushing. What did the teams do running the ball against them? And especially in games that they lost, like with the Jags, when they got swept by the Jags. I'm going to get into that right now. So when they played the Jaguars the first time and the Jaguars shut them out 24-0, the Jaguars ran the ball for 96 yards. And that was when they were splitting carries between James Robinson and Travis Etienne. That's when they were splitting carries together. So that was 96 yards right there. The Titans, in the first game that they played, it was 127 yards. But, Derrick Henry's a freak show. So those were most of Derrick Henry's yards. I think, if not all, the rushing yards came from Derrick Henry. Then the second time they played, it was 138. So Zeke and Pollard, they're a really great tandem in the league. And for how, with how far I know I want this team to go, we're gonna need those two to run this ball. The Broncos, back when they played in October on that Thursday night football game, that was such a horrible game. But the Broncos, they ran for 125 yards, and that was without Javonte Williams. 96 yards that Washington ran. And Washington and another team I'm about to get into, Philly, they both play like us, where they can run the ball, but they play excellent defense. So just when you saw them against our division rival, not naming the Giants, because the Giants and Colts haven't played yet, but 96 yards, Washington ran the ball. 141 yards, the Philadelphia Eagles ran the ball on the Colts. And 172 yards, the Steelers ran on them. So if you just look at their last two games against the Eagles and Steelers, both Pennsylvania teams, they both ran on them for close to almost 300 yards. So I know the Colts are definitely going to try and put a stop into that, but it's very key that Kellen Moore, he looks at these games and he says, like, well, if I just look at their last two games, but even if I look at other teams who don't have great offensive line, like the Broncos, like, come on, the Broncos ran on you for 125. The Jaguars ran on you for 96. The Titans, they have a good offensive line that a lot of people don't really talk about a lot, because you see, every time that you see Derrick Henry, he's breaking off a big run, or he's shedding off tacklers. He's throwing defenders in the first row into the suites in the stands. So that gets, neglected. But like I said, run the ball. Plenty of teams have been able to run the ball on the Colts, and especially these last two teams. They've been able to run the ball, just run the air out that football. So it's really key that we run the ball, especially with the tandem that we do have. Clean up on the penalties. These are your last 6 games of the NFL regular season, and we are like top 5 when it comes to the most penalized team in the league. And it's very, very horrible because when it comes playoff time, and you have to play no matter who you play, whether it's the Falcons, whether it is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, whether you when you win the first round, you go on to the second round, you have to play the Eagles. When you play the Eagles, or you have to play the Vikings again, you're not going to be able to win games being penalized 12, 15 times in a game and you just automatically turn it on and you win the game. You will never win, in this stretch of these games playing sloppy football, and you don't want to end up like last year playing a horrible brand of football leading into the playoffs. So please clean up on the penalties and let that be consistent success where we clean up on the penalties and we the last 6 games were at least towards the end of the league where we're the least penalized team. But definitely that's something that we need to do and put this bad team away. The Colts, they are a bad team, but in the same breath, they're a team that's not going to go away. This is not a team that you're going to easily get rid of. There are teams that have, but the Cowboys like to play this brand of football where they like to keep teams in games that they shouldn't. Case in point with the Giants when they had about 10 to 11 NFL starters out, and 10, 11 NFL starters is big, and their 10, 11 people were monumental to their season, and we pulled away very late, in that game. So put this bad team away. They're not good. They lost to the Steelers. They lost. They played a really close game with the Broncos. Broncos have been trash all year. Washington, they're getting very, very, they're red hot right now. And Jacksonville, they're not that good of a football team. They have, sometimes they'll have games where they go off. But hey, you got to do your part in this game. You have to put this team away, man. And that's about it for the video, guys, and ways we beat the Colts. Again, I'm going to go over, my last, my 6 points that I had on ways that we beat the Colts, and I'm about to end out the video. So, 1, we stopped the run. Jonathan Taylor can be and will be a problem if you let him. 2, pressure Matt Ryan. He is a statue. Number 3, don't get Pittman going. Michael Pittman Jr. Run the ball. Jaguars ran for 96 yards. The Titans in both games ran for close to 300 yards on him in both games. Broncos ran for 125. Our division rivals, Washington ran for 96. The Eagles ran for 141. In the Steelers, the most recent game on a Monday night, Steelers ran for 172 yards on the ground. Clean up on your penalties. Like I said, we're top 5 when it comes to penalties. We're one of the most penalized teams in the league, and that's going to be horrible for you come playoff time. And just put a bad team like this away. There's no way they shouldn't even be in this ball game, especially with the talent that you do have offensively, defensively, and on special teams. So that's about it for the video, guys. If you guys stay this late, I really appreciate you guys are the real MVPs. Appreciate all you guys for all your support and everything like that. So that's about it for the video. Hope you guys have a nice day. Stay safe, stay blessed, happy holidays, and that's it. Bye.